Welcome to the series where I finally crossed paths with the games I either missed or didn't finish in an effort to discover whether or not they were even worth playing in the first place. I thought that given remakes and remasters are on the uptick lately, and coming fresh off the recent CRAWK Platinum Edition, I would finally take a look at CRAWK's slightly older brother, CRAWK Tour. Something I've been a little apprehensive to do and fears that I might come face to face with an experience that suffers from the fabled shit sequel syndrome, something that tends to plague certain game studios who dare to put faith in their franchise a second time. By trying to get away with the same shit again, or by adding a world tour theme, or somehow revolving around traveling through time. While I only have a few examples of this personally, I didn't want to throw this sequel out with the rest just yet. And with a few exceptions, it seems like CRAWK's follow-up appearance is potentially the people's favourite among the two games anyway, so I'm hopeful to say the least. Kicking off this tale is the inventor Gobbo, who after finalising the work on his brand new lawnmower, stumbles across a band of chanting Dantinis. And because lawnmowers are prohibited from use in the Gobbo archipelago, the great Dante must return to apprehend and punish the only Gobbo who seems to be doing something helpful for a change. Meanwhile, fresh from celebrating the now defunct dismissal of Dante in his first adventure, we catch up with our hero Croc, alongside the newly designed Gobbos for a bit of fun in the sun, where a minor mishap leads to the discovery of a message in a bottle, which, by massive coincidence and convenience, is addressed to Croc himself from his parents. I'm not too sure, I can't actually read it, but there is a Croc foot on it. And luckily for Croc, the King Gobbo here is able to decipher where the message may have originated from, leading Croc to his next adventure via Boulder. And without much dilly-dally at all, we dive straight into the game. I don't know if I prefer the Gobbos like that or as camera-facing PNGs. Oh, hello. I have to keep playing? I mean, this feels way more enjoyable right off the bat. I'll say that much. We have like an actual adventure, it feels like. Having it split up into rooms, I think, just kind of stunted the first game a lot. We're flying. Oh, is this a checkpoint maybe? We have a funny feeling it's a checkpoint. I'm afraid of him. You okay? Holy fuck! I thought he was gonna like take me for a ride. He fucking rejected that instantly. That scared the shit out of me. CRAWK 2 is a massive departure, both figuratively and literally, from its predecessor, addressing more than a few of my issues with the first game within the first opening seconds of gaining control. And while devoid of any actual English in their voices, you'll see that not only do we have dialogue now with the characters, but CRAWK is joining in too, which is a great start considering one of my gripes with the prequel was its lack of life in the world and with the characters we saw. Not only that, we have a whole new movement system for CRAWK, ditching the tank style by default, opting for the more traditional platformer point and go approach, with some new moves to master too, like this weird tumble thing that I think I used about 2 times in the entire game, and a triple jump which grants us some pretty decent height, which came in handy to skip certain areas I had to revisit for 100%. And unfortunately would be yet another example of why you should read the game's manual before playing, because I didn't realize this existed until over halfway through the game. But regardless, the movement is very nice even without comparing it to the original. It won't be obvious just yet, but we have also swapped out the map from CRAWK 1 to hub worlds similar to Spyro, wandering the grounds to find more characters, levels, secrets, and even do some shopping for items. And still present are the coloured gems too, with 5 per normal level, which once we've found open a secret path to award us a very cheesy looking Gobbo trophy that opens a special stage in the hub world. We also gain the use of level specific abilities to progress through different obstacles, one of which being a Gobbo with springs on his feet who helps us reach things, finally paying us back for having to save the world again and doing fuck all the last time it happened. And with our first couple stages complete, we head back into town to meet who the locals constantly refer to as an odd guy. This is the shopkeeper Swap Meet Pete, whose only real odd characteristic is being a chubby bipedal cat with a somewhat stereotypical accent. Which, if it was fine in Diddy Kong Racing with Taj, I'm here to help you. It's probably fine here, right? Oh, they took it out in the DS remake. Mild racism aside, the shop is our go-to for items we'll need to find those colored gems, upgrade our health, and travel between the various Gobbo worlds. Now, the shopping system itself is actually pretty janky to use if I'm honest. Using the clear gems we collect from various stages, which are now currency instead of our means to avoid damage, opting for another heart/hit-based life system like other games. You also have to listen to Pete describe the item you're looking at and then decide to buy it or leave the shop. And while you can skip the yapping, you might get caught in a loop of buying things you don't want to if you're too hasty, or accidentally leaving the shop a whole bunch like I somehow kept doing. And traveling between worlds is only possible for the worlds either side of you. So you can't go from the first to the third world, you'd have to go to the second and then to the third. So I think if there's ever a remaster in the works, this is the kind of thing that would definitely need an adjustment, just for quality of life's sake. However, moving onwards and upwards. Kink. Ugh. What's going on? Why is it just there? Why is it just looking at me? It looks like fucking cheese. Drop on the go reach the treasure chest. See, now I can relate to them because they're actually helpful. Platform. Is it gonna go on? Oh! I thought it was gonna go all the way down. It feels like one of those things in Elden Ring that you would just like get baited into killing yourself on. That's pretty cool. Croc, jump higher than cover. I don't really know how. Just chuck some dynamite at her. It seems that we are in for a little more than a couple extra ways to jump and shop in Croc Squared. Next up is the first of this sequel's great overhauls over its sibling, variety in the gameplay. Littered through the story are a selection of new level types that stray as far as they can from the standard Croc platforming. We'll come across a few interesting change-ups to the normal gameplay, from hang gliding to boat racing. With the first of the lot being a minecart level, I can tell that the team has put a lot of work into creating a familiar Croc experience, but making sure to address the downfalls of that familiarity as well. And despite the world's levels initially appearing to share that same room-based copy and pasting we saw in Croc 1, it doesn't take long to see how each level is created uniquely to compensate. Adding new enemies for that level specifically, or just giving Croc a different task to complete before he can leave, rather than just going to find that gong and pissing off with that bird like I was so used to doing. And with that mindset from jamming my head against Croc's first debut from my childhood up till now, I definitely had my own reservations about what I might expect from its 2-year-old offspring. But at this point, I think maybe like an hour or two into playing, I stopped to look at my experience and I was honestly so happy with what I'd seen so far. I genuinely felt like I could give a shit about these furry little guys now. They talk and do funny stuff sometimes, offering a whole lot more than be in cage or sat on thing and look cute. It felt like I was getting the game I expected from Croc 1, or maybe even the remaster, despite being a fairly unreasonable request. The land of the Gobbos, or dare I say the legend, kinda makes more sense in the title of this game, if anything. So we can call this game Croc Legend of the Gobbos and the other one Croc 2. Yes, that works. I can see they're working quite well. Take the inside corner, lovely. Oh, look at that, sharp as nails. Oh, go through the waterfall. I'm so glad there is actually a path. Holy hell, I'm glad there's a path there. You can't have a waterfall in a game and not have a shortcut going through it. Man, this is... Oh! Look at these guys. Oh! Oh! What the... Oh! Oh! You fucking rascals! I'm being fucking mugged. I think we have another... Oh my god! What? This is crazy. The variety in this gameplay is insane. Like they've just totally 180. They pivoted so hard. They pressed B, they did a 180, and well, the rest is history, really. And we have another cheese award. What is happening? I'm on a... Oh fuck. No fucking way you were supposed to land on that. No fucking way. No. I thought he would like get out and like look. He would like look around. Fuck. Oh, if you don't make it, Croc. Oh, hicka. Oh my god. This is honestly, like, I can't believe. It's like they have genuinely seemed to have rectified a number of the complaints I had about the first one. The variety in levels this is insane. This is a PS1 game. Just the scope and scale of this game now is it seems insane. What's up with that pillar? Oh! Croc rocket top of the boulder. Croc rocket top of the boulder. Croc top of the boulder. Croc top of the boulder. I honestly, I think a remake of Croc 2 would work well. Yeah, everything there is to say about Croc 1, I think is kind of resolved in Croc 2. What is that? I don't know what it is about that. It's making me laugh. I like his little picture. I didn't even notice that. Oh my god. That's horrific. Thank you, Croc, no problem. I just killed that guy. The world here has had such an injection of life into it that even the most tedious of situations or frustrating points were so easy to look past. Not to mention, most if not all of the characters we come across are pretty well designed and not completely hideous. A complaint that I had with the questionable ones we'd seen already. I don't even mean that sarcastically. I think it's fair to say that there have been major improvements to the looks across the board, Croc included. He has a slightly rounder silhouette now, looking a lot more like his artwork, which is a nice change. And the scenery, despite bearing a lot of that familiar Croc pattern repeating, is still used in a way to keep the vibes newish and consistent with the theme. Not to mention the scale of the areas we come across too, going from like canyons to mine shafts and forest areas to icy cliffs. It really is as if the team has condensed their first attempt, pulled a complete 180 and done everything they could not to do it again. But I don't know, is that something we should expect from any sequel or just a sequel to a lesser experience? Anyway, so this was shaping up to be a very positive experience with only a few select gripes, one of which being the camera, which I learned is actually a common complaint with this game. I wouldn't say it's game breaking at all or that it was a thorn in my side either. I think it just really needs an adjustment. When you jump, the camera will sort of jerk upward rather than raise with you. It can be a little disorienting at the worst of times, especially in tight spaces, but most of the time it was fixed by just standing still for a second or two and waiting for it to correct itself. We also can't control the camera at all, which I think is a bummer, if anything. Not because it's a useful feature, but because you could show off a lot more of the scenery as you move through it, instead of having to use those binoculars every time, which sort of feels like a last minute solution to not having the option. Regardless, I don't think the camera issues are much to gripe about. But one thing I did have a small issue with was every time you pass a gobbo, they will stop you to talk, which I can understand if I'm about to enter a level, you know, checking if I've done it already or not, but not every time I go to the shop. And for some reason that I don't think I ever got an answer to, in every single area there is a new gobbo outside Pete's store who always just says he's an odd guy. I started to become so defensive to this Pete slander because I never understood why he's odd. I started thinking the gobbos were just racist until I met the Unga Bungas over here and realized maybe everyone's racist around here. I'll get back into the other things I encountered later, but first I thought I'd... Is that... It can't be. Is there... Is there kart racing in this? Okay, alright, I know it's pretty stock standard in terms of actual content here, but still. I continue to be blown away all the way into World 3 at the level of variety and additions to the Croc world. And despite being a new addition to me, please enjoy me finally realizing that the triple jump actually existed. Okay, so you can get a higher jump. Oh no. That is news to me. Oh dear, I got through half the game and didn't know that. I am going to read the fucking manual. Oh no. Oh baby! I'm Roger Red Ant and I'm going to blow you. Is this a Miyazaki test? Okay, now be objective, be realistic, be subjective, be adjective. Do you think they put an invisible bridge in Croc 2? Let's find out together. Oh! Maybe Roger is actually a verb in this scenario. Maybe I'm supposed to Roger the Red Ant. Eh? Croc too big for that red ant, huh? Wow, it's a big bomb. Damn. It's a massive bomb. Oh, it's coming. I just saw it. Oh my god. It's gonna blow up. And I'm right beside it. What am I gonna, what? I had genuinely no inclination that was going to affect me, despite standing within breathing distance of it. Yay! Is he alive? I assume he's alive. What is everyone's issue with Swap Meet Pete? His face is on my credit card. What is your issue with him? Hey! I want to hit you so fucking hard. Stop talking shit about my Swap Meet Pete fella. I don't know what it is about like flat textured like lava and water. I fucking love it, man. This one kind of makes my skin itchy though. Come on Eileen, cause she said it was alright that you did that. Come on her, I mean. Oh, okay. Woo! Broken track. Oh! It's a little bit like that Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh shit! I'm scared. Oh! That was just Ultra Instinct. I didn't know what to do. That was a fucking direct hit! Jesus Christ, that was a direct hit if I've ever seen one, and I got nothing. Oh! Why? Why? Whoa. I'm trying to see the track as fast as possible. Oh, maybe I love you. Crockly Dockley. Oh, fuck. I was saying Croc's iconic catchphrase. And then it instantly ate shit. Crockly Dockley. He's got a cool mask on. Call that a whoopsie daisy. Is there a gubba? A gubba hobble. In here? Did I just leave the fucking level? Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Holy fuck. No fucking way did that just happen, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Unga bungas, huh? What do you mean? That's just a blatant black gobbo. It's a black face gobbos, man. Oh! Holy shit. He's fast. That was literally faster than the go-kart. That noise is the noise from Dog's Life. Okay, I'm just gonna grab that. What if I throw it this way? No way! I'm so good! Oh my god. Why am I so good at everything? I'm gonna hide here for a second. Look at that. Hide. Throw it backwards up the ramp. Nothing happens. Ignore it.
I think there's something coming, guys.
Oh! Where are you, bud? Hello. Just hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna kill you. Epic. Damn, just took a bucket of water, huh? However, despite my awe at what we've seen so far, for those that have played the game already will probably know what I'm about to start talking about. The final area of the game, the Inca world, is where we meet the end of the tracks, in more ways than one. Present in the other 3 worlds up till now were 5 normal stages, secret challenges, and 2 bosses. In this world, there are 2 levels and 1 final boss, which is actually a whole level as well, with an extra boss, if you can call it that. Which initially is a little confusing, but it's here you realize that Croc 2 maybe wasn't quite ready to come out when it did. Which was a genuine surprise given how the game's been up until now, but it really seems to fall off the rails here. One of the levels we visit first is actually one of the most notoriously hated from the entire game, according to what I've read, because of its somewhat lazy and lengthy lack of content. We have to round up 30 of these stranded baby gobbos by chucking them into nearby playpens, which doesn't sound too bad, but this level is just kind of dull and thematically askew. It's a fresh scene, don't get me wrong, but weren't we just in an Inca village? This is like medieval. There are like knights and armor and stuff, which might be the first major clue to this not being quite as polished as I initially thought. While I personally found the level to be mostly tolerable, it doesn't fit and it's kind of distracting in that regard. Whereas the second stage, we're climbing a perilous waterfall and makes way more sense with the Inca theme. It's a decent measure of difficulty and fits in well, but unfortunately doesn't lessen the confusion that's about to come anyway. Get off! I have to put you in the pen. I have to put you in the jails. Dude. Oh no, where did that go? No, don't tell me. Oh, thank God. Whew, I think I threw it outside the wall. Whoa. It's a snark. Oh, sorry, I didn't ask for his consent before I did that. Would you mind if I... Holy fuck. Would you mind if I used your tail as a rope swing? Thank you. Nice. Having cleared the only 2 required stages, we point toward the Inventor's Workshop. Okay, that is just clearly a temple that they are reusing for this section of the game. I don't know. Even with the fun I've had so far, I'm not gonna let that one slide. Sure, maybe he redecorated or something. Or maybe you shoehorned your way to finish a product and now there's no going back. Because it's time to face Dante himself. What? What? I'm so confused. Is this the final boss? That kind of came out of nowhere. We are now firing at a Kong-sized Dante while he hugs a mountain peak and throws bombs? This is just a barrage of strange happenings that I just cannot process. I don't really know, like, where are we? Why is he there? And then when he's finally knocked from the sky in pretty anticlimactic fashion, we end up in a random puzzle temple with the professor who we've been trying to find, having escaped the Baron's clutches, not by boulder, but by pencil. Fuck me, man. This stage is directly following that dogfight with Dante and is just room after room of puzzles, freeing gobbos as we go, culminating in what I'm certain is the single worst boss fight in the entire franchise, knocking Chumley the Rocket Man off the top spot. Please enjoy. Goo, 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 goo. Are you a baby? Please don't hit me with your goo. Oh, I'm gonna have to hit that. Maybe I'll try spinning it. Goo? No more goo for you, Goo Manchu. That was it. Oh. And without a break after that brutal fight, we follow that up with the real final bout with the Baron himself, which is sort of reminiscent of the Gruntilda fight in Banjo-Kazooie. We're just waiting for the professor here to drag these colored gems to the center of the platform to hurt Dante, I guess. This is a fairly lackluster encounter if I'm honest, seeing as it's mostly just waiting for him to move the gems, and then occasionally spinning away a Dantini every now and then. But when it's done, we finally top off the main adventure by sending Dante to hell, and finally meeting Croc's parents, who, despite being very happy to see their son, think I don't remember the basket they put him in when they clearly ditched his ass in the first place. Now, while that's where the primary story ends, we get a snippet of that dastardly Dante pinching what I assume are crocodile eggs, poking us to collect the secret puzzle pieces and achieve that 100% ending. Now, this would be normally the part of the Croc playthrough where any suggestion to re-explore the areas I've seen for completion's sake would be met with a 2x4, a black bag and some duct tape. But to my own surprise, I actually wanted to, despite the pretty blatant squishing in of content we just saw. Maybe seeing the somewhat positive resolution to the Croc story pushed me over the edge, but that curiosity to go out of my way that I wanted from the first game had appeared in me for the sequel. So without much hesitation, it was time to clean up what we missed. The initial criteria to 100% the game this time is to locate all 5 colored gems in every normal level for that cheese trophy, to gain access to the secret door in the hub world for 1 out of the 4 puzzle pieces that will eventually allow us to travel to a secret world, but we'll get to that soon. I'm not too sure if this falls into the ran out of time category, but still I think something didn't feel quite right when it came to the sudden challenge you face when trying to complete the game fully. Even though finding the colored gems in the levels isn't really much of a hassle, the path that opens for you to collect the trophy is a one-way ticket. So if you die in the path, which is very possible in some cases, you'll reappear in the normal level again with all the gems you just collected, and no means to collect the trophy anymore, which is kind of a brutal feature that I never really expected. Obviously if it happens once you become a lot more careful, but if a stray jump or miss input is the decider on whether or not your efforts to find the colored gems were even worth it, that just seems a little out of place for what we've experienced already through our playthrough. I think overall the gameplay in Croc 2 is fairly lenient and leans more to the easier experience if anything, so this sudden spike when you try to appreciate the game more feels like the devs pulling the ladder up just as you try to reach for it. But regardless, after polishing off the remaining collectibles, we take our 4 puzzle pieces to meet Swap Meet Pete, who informs us we can now travel to Dante's twisted version of the Gobbo worlds. In a similar vein to the World 2 repack we just played, we get a trickier version of each level to locate a single colored gem, collecting all of which to free one of those crocodile eggs we're looking for. And each stage isn't actually a whole level, by the way, it's usually just one room with some changes to the platforming and scenery, and a decent sprinkling of big magic Dantinis. Finding the colored gem actually sends us back to the hub as well, so it's a fairly short mission to gather the 5 and then nab the egg before moving on to the next world. At this point, feeling a lot like a victory lap if anything, I was still feeling quite positive with my time in Croc 2. While I agree being as far from the source material as humanly possible and potentially losing some of its charm as a result to some people, I think Croc 2 still stands apart for many good reasons, even with its somewhat meteoric decline right at the end. But I'm hoping that with this extra burst of enthusiasm to round up and taper off what remains of the game, we can take our final leg into the end. What? No, I mean end of the game as in the final world where Dante is? Where we'll fight Dante again and get the secret ending or something, right? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I keep trying to defend this experience as much as I can, but it just seems to keep prodding me in the opposite direction. Now, to be as blunt as I can, this sucks. Ending the game both times was a really tough obstacle to see past when I look back at the whole game, both of which seem rushed to all shit, and it's such a shame for the scope and scale we've seen thus far. but much like the original game for me personally, I think I'm probably going to come back. I really adore the world they've created here. There's so much more charm and life present in the sequel compared to the first game. And I think movement and visual upgrades are really just the icing on the cake for the foundations they've built upon. It's really just a bummer they weren't able to take it where they clearly wanted to. But anyway, having closed out with a mostly positive outlook, I thought instead I would treat myself and end the game the way I felt it should have ended after being backhanded so hard by the late game. It's giving, oh, it's definitely giving,